We've had a lot of fun. I admit, I think it's been fun going back and looking at some of the things that really helped our marriage. And good gracious, we've had a lot of tools that have really contributed something to our marriage. Um, the I think we can agree on this that probably the one tool that actually saved our marriage was the personality test that we took. Um, do you agree with that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, um, it
we're,
helped us learn. I mean, we had some premarital counseling. I mean, truth be told, we had that, and it had stopped, it had settled down, it had helped us learn how to communicate. But
Mhm.
we had been starting to argue and argue and argue again. And this personality test that kind of just got pushed in or, put in our lap really, really helped us.
Yeah, remember it was when we got to know Glenn, somebody, who became our financial advisor. And I think we had told them about our marriage. I can't remember now, it's too long ago. But,
It's another
he,
century.
he had a lot of trouble in his marriage, arguing with his wife. And mostly it turned out, I remember him saying to me, he would have his clients come home for dinner, call his wife up like 20 minutes ahead and say, hey, can you please make a meal for all of us? And she was really getting upset with that. She didn't want to do that, or she needed more time.
I would have been on Glenn's side, the wife's
Yeah,
side, just saying.
me too. And so they went to somebody, a counselor, Fred, and he gave them a personality test. So we made an appointment with Fred, and
Yeah,
it really helped us.
it was a game changer for us. I remember, to be truthful, I was a bit of a know-it-all and I don't shake your head too much. And I didn't really want to go to this counselor for any reason. I mean, for whatever reason, it just kind of embarrassed me that I had to go to a counselor, a marriage counselor. Once again, it was a long time ago. And and you know, I didn't know anything about a personality testing at this time.
Mm.
And I certainly didn't know about the personality test. It was called the Firo B that Fred would administered to us. But and I think I have some company in this regard. Sometimes we're so down on what we're not up on, and that was me. But anyways, I agreed. We went. Fred administered the tests, and
And you were shocked at the results.
I was shocked at the results.
And I was too.
You were shocked at my results.
Yeah.
So I found out, I thought all of these years that I was my dad's own son. Gregarious, loved to be around a lot of people, life of the party, and so on. But the personality test showed me to be pretty much a very different, almost an opposite person. And it's interesting, all those years that I felt I was my dad's own son, this party animal, there was a discomfort in me that I couldn't put my finger on. I don't know what it was. But I wasn't like that. In fact, I was this kind of one-on-one person. I liked my solitude. I liked deeper conversation. I liked to be more one-on-one than in huge crowds. And so to be honest with you, it really it changed my life to see all of a sudden that this wasn't who I was. And I could breathe a sigh of relief that I didn't have to be this person that I wasn't. Shakespeare said, "To thine own self be true." Well, that hadn't been me for all my adult life. And that personality test totally changed that. How about you?
And yeah, my results were what I thought. I'm more one-to-one. And I need to process things. I don't mind going out and doing things
Mhm.
with people, but then I need to come home and kind of I don't know, think about it and have some quiet time, alone time. And so it gave me a freedom to just be that way more, because when you realize too, that that's who I am and that's who God made me, and then I saw what you were like, wow. I
Mm.
mean, that you weren't, thank God, we're gonna be dragged to so many of these gatherings.
So we did a lot of that,
Get-togethers,
we
you
did a
know.
lot of that. You know, a friend of ours later on, a pastor friend of ours, in fact, we were elders in his church, once said, if you want to have a successful marriage, I love what Brad said. He said, if you want to have a successful marriage, you got to know three people, three persons. You got to get to know yourself, you got to get to know your spouse, and you got to get to know God. Three persons. You get to know yourself, your spouse, and God. Simple, but profound. And over the years, I can tell you that that one principle has been confirmed as for in working with so many couples and in our marriage as well. So let me ask you this: do you, how well do you know yourself? You may think you know yourself, but maybe you're like me. Maybe you think you know yourself, but you need something that can really, really give you a good idea who you are. How well do you know yourself? How well do you know your spouse? You know, maybe a great first step would be to take a personality test as a couple. Who knows? It might save your marriage. And if nothing else, it'll be a great step to your successful marriage. Stay tuned to the next video. We're going to delve into our favorite personality test and how it affects and how it changed our marriage and how it changes marriages. See you then. I can't read what that says. Stop recording.